So I set myself the challenge of tidying my workshop, and I'm tackling it shelf by shelf and in 20-minute intervals. So here I am at the next shelf of my cupboard. I'm Julie from Julie Davis Flower Workshops, and Flowers start the online flower arranging classes. So I'm going to start emptying my cupboard, seeing what I've got, what I want to keep, what I want to give away, and what I want to throw away or recycle. So I've got some collection points on the ground here where I'm going to divvy everything up. So first of all, big basket, I reckon. I bought some yarn for macrame, which I want to keep. It's a good standby for the Children's Flower Club. When we don't have enough fresh flowers, I'll sort of do a crafting related thing. I can add flowers too. And that's where I've got the string as well. Now this string here, I bought it years and years and years ago, and I've never used it. So I think I'm going to pass that on to my friend who runs the local brownie pack. I'm sure she can make some really good use out of that. And then I have got bags here of pins. There's mossing pins and buttonhole, pearl-headed pins for buttonholes, and pins for pinning leaves on these look like dressmaking pins. So I want to keep all those, but I need to have them stored in a better area. So I'm going to put them back into the plastic bag. I've even got magnetic corsage magnets and binding wire for making old traditional corsages. Binding wire there. So those are all my pins. I'm going to put them, I've just spilt this one here. Oops. I have them stored in this dish. It's sort of trying to store things so you can find them. You also have them retaining some sort of decorative appeal. So put those in there. So the pins do need to all be kept, but they're just not in the right place for me. So I'm going to put those to one side and come back to those. I've then got this glass dish that I've been arranging flowers in, and I don't think I'm going to keep that anymore. And the same for the basket. I really love this basket because it was sort of wobbly shape to it, but it's just so hard to store. If I had a higher ceiling, I could hang them all up in from the roof, but I'm going to be brave and pass both of those on to the charity shop. And then I've got some plastic bags here. Again, I used to do a lot of corsages and prom work. I used to package the little bracelets up into these bags, which I'm not going to use. So again, I think I will pass those on to the brownies. And then I've got a bucket full of eggs here. So I need to put those with my seasonal bits and pieces. And then also this lovely trug. Now I know I've got another trug tucked away for my teaching work. So again, I'm going to give that to the charity shop. And oh, I love this bowl. I'm not entirely sure about this. I bought it again from a charity shop. I like the texture of it, and somebody's obviously loved it, so it's not perfect inside. And I just never been totally brave enough just to put my flower foam straight in there, so I'm not sure about that. So as I'm in the spirit of decluttering, I'm going to put it in the giveaway pile, and then if I change my mind before I go to the charity shop, I can always whip it out. So that goes. Cocktail sticks, these are handy for fixing candles into flower arrangements, so they'll stay. Empty boxes, business cards. Now actually, I might use these and decant the pearl-headed pins and the pins into those, so I can make good use of those. Hammers. I did a programme of arts events for the elderly and those with dementia, and we were doing some sort of using flower arranging techniques to bring back memories, and I was trying to include the men in it. And I thought if we did some works, we were making we had polystyrene balls with leaves on them, and I thought perhaps if I had the pearl-headed pins and the gentlemen in the group, rather than thinking it was flower arranging, it wasn't really for them, if it was more of a construction job, that they could sort of hammer these nails in. So I got these jewellery hammers because they were rubber and plastic rather than having big heavy handles, but I didn't use as many as I thought I would. So gosh, I'm going to give all those away. This one's not open, so I'm going to ask, this one has been opened, so I'll save that one for another day. And in fact, this is another of these plastic vases that I was using for storage. I'm going to give that a wipe out and pass that on to the charity shop as well. And the same here. So luggage tags, these are always handy. Had these for the same arts projects. We were writing memories and hanging them on a tree and cutting them out so they look like leaves. So I shall keep those. Plastic straws. Why did I buy these? I can't remember. But of course, we're becoming more environmentally aware now and trying to get away from single-use plastics. So what I might do is put these in the box for the brownies, because I'm sure they could use those for a crafting project. And then kebab sticks, always really helpful when you're flower arranging, for fixing fruit into arrangements, or again, larger candles. There's another handle there that I will hammer, that I will keep. And then these little bits of card. Actually, I might give those to the brownies as well. I did something and I cut these big green labels down to make them into squares. And these are the, oh, these have got things written on them. I hadn't realised that. I shall have to go through those and see what the memories were. So those can go to the brownies, something they can get crafting with. Gold stick, that can go into the recycling. Something that someone made for me, so I shall keep that. Pipe cleaners. Oh, we did this at Flower Club one day as well, using washi tape. I think we were doing something about celebrations and we made little bunting out of washing tape and put it into our arrangements. That's quite cute. So I will, these cut down bits of kebab stick I can reuse. And then that vase again, not working for me, the vase. So I've got 2 of those plastic bags. I'll package that up and that can go to the charity shop as well. And a wodge of papers here, so I might need to go through these later. Looks like some teaching bits and pieces, flowery folders. And again, that arts project that I was doing, we were having handouts as well, really big type so the elderly could read them. More lesson plans, so I need to put all this to one side and go through my paperwork. And oh, look at this. I did when I first started flower arranging, I did a correspondence course. This is all my homework, which I never got rid of. Let's have a look. When did I do this? It would have been interesting if I put a date on it. I've laid out all my flowers and then made a, I don't know, that was probably an arrangement in a vase in flower foam. And assignment 9, lesson 10. Arrangement there as well. So we used to send these off in the olden days, photographs printed, sent off, marked and then returned. And a sketch pad. I must have been at school when I did this. Year 3, so I would have been 11, 12, 13 or 14. Oh gosh, art classes. That's probably gone down to the history books now, but it has still got some papers left. Is that Lucy from Peanuts? Not quite sure. I need to go through that. More pins, so they can go with the others and get sorted out. And then this box are, again, a huge box of mossing pins, so I might end up putting those plastic bags of mossing pins back into that main box, then I'll know where they all are instead of having them divided up. And then another box here, left over from Christmas, but I did think I could have, if I was having a dory sort of year round, I could attach birds to it any time of the year. Not quite sure about that now. And then more wire work examples. So I'm going to put those with my wire bits and pieces that I had yesterday. So I know they go on the side, they can be put away. And again, something we did at Flower Club with the children. Made little wands for Valentine's Day. So I'll keep the little heart and throw the stick away. A length of knit curtain wire. Strange, these things we keep hold of. And then some hooks for neck curtains in there. Door hooks here. I'm going to put those in my husband's goodie bag so he can use those. More neck curtain wire. Curtain hooks, these all need to go somewhere else. And then these are a lovely box of cutlery that I use sometimes when I have bespoke classes. Everyone gets their own borrows their own old-fashioned knife for cutting out their flower foam. I think those came from one of my great aunts, so I'm keeping those. Old bread knife that I used to cut up my flower foam as well. More wands for Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day, little corsages, go in the pot over there. A rest for my glue guns, so really I need to find my glue guns, put it back there. Another hook, and then so the equipment here, I've got pliers, so we're doing some of that metal work for the jewellery over there, different sizes, and then the floristry knives for cutting the stems themselves, so I need to go away. Stapler for stapling the tape on funeral tributes. Rose strippers, never had much luck with these. You hold the rose and then go down. Never had much luck with them. I prefer just using the knife, and again another rose stripper, hold the rose and down. I'm not sure that I still want those because I don't find them very effective, so I'm going to give those away. And then some flowery things, a flowery craft knife, flowery tape measure. I bought this because if you're in a flower club and you're doing competition work, you get set dimensions, so you have to know what you're working with. And then a lino cutter tool, which I've used for carving pumpkins before. I'm going to put that in my craft drawer. And a pair of bonsai scissors. I don't do bonsai, so I'm going to give the bonsai scissors away. And some cones, again for more modern work. I've never used those. They've got little holes in them, so you could hang them up, fill them with water. Perhaps I ought to keep those and make a point of using them. More hooks must have come from living room curtains or something, so they can go back in the household box. And then another teaching aid here. How about cutting your flower stems? So don't ever cut them across in the vase. You need to cut them at an angle. You've got a greater surface area, so I'll keep that. Oh, a tiny little motif. I think I'll go in recycling. And another knife for cutting your stems. So, and I've got a few paper clips there. So again, I'm in a dilemma about whether or not to keep the basket and what value that's got for me, but I have now emptied it. So I will say everything in the basket off camera I will put away. And even that's made me loads more space. So moving along, I've got even more balls of string from macrame and a plastic wallet. Not quite sure what that was for, but I can go through that. Little paper bags, I will carefully fold that down and use that as a gift bag, birthday present, so I can make use of that. And then the box of ribbons. Oops, which I've just dropped. So I'm trying to keep my ribbons all together. What I'm going to do is take out the blues, because I'm going to put those in the children's craft box, because they're quite popular with the children, and also this bright green ribbon. I don't like it very much, so they're going to get rehomed to the children's crafting area. And then all my other ribbons, I will make sure I wrap them back up and put them neatly back in this box. I've got a bangle of buttons. They're quite handy for decorating jam jars. In fact, I've got another jar of buttons there. So I think I'll put those into my crafting box as well. So that one would be pretty much done. I just need tidying really. And then this was for another Facebook Live I've never got around to finishing, using decorative eggs. And I was making holes in them and spraying them bronze and using those to arrange flowers in. So that'll be a project to finish off in the future. I've got a lovely candle here. So a warning, if you're storing candles, don't store them in the loft. It's too hot. And what you should do is wrap them up in some tissue paper to protect them. Otherwise, like this, they get a bit dirty and grubby and they become quite marked. Small candle. I suppose I have to wait for a power cut and use that up. And I have a box of candles here. I've got some that are shaped like pumpkins. I'm never going to use those, so I'm going to put those into a charity shop bag. And then some large night lights as well, so I will keep those. I think I will need to go through those and store those properly so they can go back into the cupboard in due course. Business cards, so they're good to keep. Coloured nightlight. And then my strings, I've got string in a jam jar with a hole in it, so as you pull it, it just comes through without knotting, and baker's twine and some more of the paper binding wire, and I know I sorted that out previously, so that can just tuck down into my box of strings, which I know is down there. More boxes of pins, so that needs to be put in the pin area and it's sorted out. Not Christmas cheddars, these are binding wire for Christmas door wreaths, so that's all neat in there. In fact, I actually bought a lot of those, they need to be stacked away. Glitter, now this glitter is sort of a white, it looks like frost, and when my little one was losing her teeth, I'll get her to put the tooth in a little brown envelope, I take the tooth away and sprinkle some dust in, so I've got to keep that hidden so the mystery is still there. Leaf shine, and then up here, bag that I keep my wires in, so I need to go through that and sort out what can be kept and what can't. There's some there's some silk flowers in there that need to go into the silk flower holder, and then my wires, I'm going to have a big sort out of those later on. And then sellotape, double-sided tape, so that all needs to be kept together. I've got a new pin board at the side of the workshop, so I may hang those on the pin board and I get to them easily. And then it's gold and silver corsage tapes. That's an alternative to the brown and green you might have seen before. More candles, so they need to be kept somewhere cool. And look, white household candles, cost 13p. These came from my mum's house. They're antique candles. Like, had those for years, so might hang on to those. A bit sentimental with the things I keep, but got happy memories of family life. Oh, two pretty little candles. Isn't that gorgeous? Birthday cake candles. I don't need those. I'm going to give those away. And then I've got some decoupage glue and some decoupage varnish, so I'm going to put that into the craft box over there. A little box here. I don't know what. Oh, batteries. Oh gosh. Batteries, a secret haul of batteries. Must get hold of that. And then here, you can see inside, again, because I'm short on storage space, I've got an orange crate here, so I can get sort of double height. I've got dream capture round, which is nice to use as sort of inside door wreath. Packages. Wow, I think these are unopened packages of flower tape, so I ought to open them, otherwise I'll be reordering tape. And this was a mistake I made online. I thought I was buying 2 reels of narrow tape and it was just one single fat tape, so that needs to be put in my tape basket so I don't go and waste money and buy another one. More corsage tape. I'll tell you, I do not want you to buy any more corsage tape because I've got a kilner jar of it down below. And then some chunkier candles. So I'm making a massive mess at the moment, but it will be tidy in due course. Pens. I did an arts project with pens for feedback, so they need to be put in with the stationery. And then there's coloured pens here into the stationery cupboard as well. Paint brushes, I'm going to put those in the children's craft box I've got because I don't need them on a daily basis. And again, another paint brushes and a plate which I use when I use my flower arranging glue. I normally spread it onto the plate and then dip my flowers in and then do the gluing, so that will be handy. And then a box of bits, old dried silk flowers, which I think I just might throw away, they're looking a bit tatty. And then I've got even more coloured pencils. I think probably the time has come to give these to charity shop. We've obviously been through our pencil box at home and I've bundled them up, but we've never had cause to use these, so they can go straight to the charity shop. So there we have it, empty cupboard. So I think that's nearly 20 minutes cleaning. That's enough for now, and I'll just go through and sort out the final bits of what I'm keeping, reload the shelf, and hopefully making myself some space because I'm desperate to put in a little filing area, and I've got a tray where I'm keeping all my floristry wires, and I want to have those out of the way. So I hope you've enjoyed that. If you have, please do give me a thumbs up, and if you'd like to let me know how you're getting on with your decluttering, I'd love to know in the comments below. And if you're enjoying the flower arranging hints, tips and behind the scenes clips, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you another time.